Hello everybody. Today I wanted to do a quick video tutorial about one of the best viewers I have ever used, which is Kirstens S20 build 42. I downloaded it yesterday or the day before and I've been using it and it's been so smooth for me. If you're on my friend list in World, you'll notice that I used to crash, well I still do at times, but I crash quite a bit, especially when taking photos with shadows for blogging purposes and so forth. So one thing I've noticed about Kirstens is it doesn't happen very often at all, even during major photo shoots. So I had plurked about it and I noticed a lot of people had downloaded and tried it out and really happy because of all the new features, and a lot of people had IM'd me asking different questions about the depth of field feature and also more about shadows and what options they should have selected. So I thought I would do a quick tutorial on that. A lot of other people have been again asking me what kind of computer I have and if I run shadows all the time, and yes, I do actually run shadows all the time. The only time I didn't was when I actually went to the 111 event, but other than that I usually have my shadows always enabled, and I'm walking around pretty much lag free, so I'm pretty satisfied. The only times I have problems is when I'm shooting, but with Kirstens this problem seems to be resolved as well. Okay, so basically what you wanted, well first let me show you what I normally do, because a lot of people have also been asking about my win light settings as well. I actually create a new win light setting for almost every shoot, especially if it's an in-world shoot somewhere. But my base one that I always start off with is the one that I have on my blog, which is my win light settings for shadows. As you can see, as soon as I enabled that, a lot of things have become a lot more brighter. So once I do that, then I play around a little bit with usually the atmosphere, density, the distance multiplier. I'll use that to brighten up the background a little bit. Then I'll go into lighting and I'll play with the sun-moon positioning. However I want to change the angle depending on how I want. And sometimes what I do is I take the sun-moon colors and I move it all the way if I want a really sharp contrast, just for fun pictures. It's not always great for blogging because it takes away all of the detail of the clothing a lot of the times. Like you can barely see the beautiful detail that's on the scarf, but if you zoom in you can. But so that's why I don't use it that often. So this is what I normally do when taking a picture. I really play around with the settings, and I suggest that you guys do too. Play with the gamma, play with the angles, play with the sun-moon positioning, play with in the atmosphere, because the more you play with it, the more you'll learn about it, and you'll be able to create your own moonlight settings to your own preferences, depending on your skin tones. Because I know with skin tones, my win light setting doesn't always go well with paler tones, so it's good to actually get yourself comfortable with that. So once you have that set, when you go into preferences, you'll notice in the graphics I have it on max. One thing I really loved about this build is as soon as I installed it, it actually recognized my video card right away and did all these settings for me automatically. I haven't touched these at all. I have all of these selected in order for the shadows to work. If you remove some of these, you'll notice the shadows will disappear or disintegrate, and you need all that for your shadows to work. All of these options add more mood and lighting and so forth. You can change the shadow quality. I've talked about that in a previous Kirstens viewer video tutorial, which I will link to, so you have access to that. And one thing I want you to notice is the depth of field that is available in this viewer. It's actually automatically enabled. If you can see, I'm focused on myself. I've clicked on myself, so I'm nicely focused, except that I've lost myself now. Excuse me a minute. Okay. So I've clicked on myself and I'm nicely focused. But now what I'll do is I'll click on the tree behind me, and you'll know that I have gone out of focus. So that's what the depth of field does. It actually gives it more of a realistic quality, just like the shadows do, and it's actually a great feature, but it can be a little difficult to use at times because right now I'm trying to focus on myself and I'm blurry, so you have to kind of get the hang of it, where you want to click exactly, and it's a fun feature definitely to play with. But I know a lot of people are like, how do I get rid of this thing? I don't want it. So if you go into the advanced tab here and you go into miscellaneous, you can play with the camera F number, and the higher the number you make, I've noticed that the less of the blurring that you have. You see how I clicked on the tree and I'm not that blurred anymore. You can play with the other focal lengths, reduce it, make it higher or lower, however you like. So play around and see what suits you best, what works for you, and how you feel comfortable with it. Another person asked about how to get rid of glow, and it's under lighting, under advanced. That's one great thing about Kirstens, is you don't have to go into the debug menu. They try to provide, well, he tries to provide everything there for you. Trying to think what other questions people were asking me. That's all I can think of right now, but if you have any other questions, please feel free to ask, and I'll contact Plurk, because I have a lot of great Plurk friends that are very familiar with Kirstens that helped us out a lot last night. I'll link to some of the Plurks so you have them and you can see and try to get more ideas. And I think that's it for today. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. I will try to write some of this into the blog post as well for those of you who can't view it. Okay, thanks guys. Talk to you later. Bye.